is what is the importance of testing? So when you design the test, or if you are a student and you have to do the test, you have to think, or you have to answer what's the importance of testing, why you have to do the test, and why you have to construct the test for the student to do the test. All right, so let me help you by divide the answer into two parts in terms of teachers and in terms of students. All right, let's we talk about in the teacher part. So what is the importance of teaching, of testing? Please feel free to turn on the microphone if you like, or if you feel comfortable to type the answers, please feel free to do so. All right, okay, have monitor students' progress, right? To know the background level of the student, to see the student progress. Very good, very good. Right, evaluate what they learn, evaluate the students' understanding. Of the topic, it assesses how much they have learned about the lesson. Very good. Importance is to measure of the students have mastered the lesson. Wow, 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 wow. You hit the point. Very nice. We got a lot of answer here. Okay, let's reshare. Okay, so what about the students part? What about the student parts? What's the importance of testing for students? You have discussed in the teacher side already, but what about the part of students? Why do we have to take the test? Get the score, okay, to pass, right? To get the score to pass, to do review what we have learned. Okay, so right now, let's imagine that we are a student, okay, to review what we have learned, to get the scores. Testing is to reflect our outcomes, right? Okay, nice. Know what we can or what we cannot do. Very nice, very nice. To know how they are learning, you know their interest. Nice, very good. Self-evaluation, very good. So I'll show you two main things for the students part. Okay, so it's just the testing can help the student create positive attitudes, right? Oh, wow, really, Ajahn? Is that true? I remember when I was young, I hate tests. I don't like exams, right? But the positive side is create positive attitude toward the instruction by giving the student a sense of accomplishment. So let's imagine that you are a student and you can do a very high score in the test. You feel very proud, right? So this can lead to a positive attitude of your students as well, right? And the other things is the test can help the student learn the language. So they, as you mentioned, some of the answer mentioned that where they need to improve or what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses as well. So it's just like a self-evaluation or evaluate their ability of learning, right? So this is just like in the student side. And what about the teacher side, as we talked already? The first one is to diagnose the teacher's effort. And for example, are my lessons on the right level, on the right way? Am I aiming my instruction too low or too high? Am I teaching some skills effectively, but others not effectively? Or what area do we need more to work on? Right? So are these the questions that we will get from the result of the test after the student do the test? The other one is for improving the evaluation process, where the test instructions clear, as we mentioned earlier in the beginning of our talk today. Was everyone able to finish in the allotted time? Did the test result reflect accurately on the students responded in class and in their assigned work? Right? So these are the questions that we can get the answer from the tests. And types of the test. Can I please ask you, do you know what some types of the tests that we use, especially in our field in English language teaching? We have a lot, many kinds of tests. Could you please give me some example? Cumulative test, writing test, yes. Gap filling, all right. Anything else? Diagnostic test, very good. All right. Written, speaking, multiple, right. Matching, achievement test. All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the answers. Proficiency test, multiple choice test, summative, formative, right? Okay, so now on this slides, I will show you the types of the tests that depends on, that use the purpose of the test to distinguish, all right? So the first one is just like achievement test, proficiency test, diagnostic test, progress test, placement test, and aptitude tests. So these are main types of tests that we always use in English language teaching. Each kind of test here has a different purpose. For example, for the achievement tests, we use this kind of test to, could you please help me? How can we use, why we have to use achievement tests? We always use this kind of test in our classroom, right? Because what is the purpose of achievement test? We use the achievement test to, yes, to check students' understanding, to see whether the student achieve the course objective or not, right? Yes, thank you, thank you. All right, and what about proficiency tests? I think that everyone here have experience with proficiency tests before. For example, TOEFL test, IELTS test, TU-GET, CU-TEP, right? TOEIC, right? So just access general English skills. Very good, very good, right? So these are many types of tests that just like the basic one. Diagnostic test is just like diagnose what the strengths and weaknesses of the student. Progress test is just check the progress of your student. Placement test is just like you want to place the student in the correct level. For example, if you have a language institute and there are a lot of students coming to enroll in your courses, so it is impossible that you can mix students into one course, right? So it will be a good idea if you ask a student to do the placement test, and you can set the student who have more or less the same ability into the same class, right? So you use the placement test. And the last one is the aptitude test. So this is very important for many job interview, that they may use the aptitude test to check that you have some ability, some specific ability that is suitable for the job or not, right? So these are many types of the tests that you should know. But for us as an English language teacher, we may focus on achievement tests, proficiency tests, and the placement tests. But if you would like to use the multiple choice tests, all of this can be decided using multiple choice tests as well. The next question is, when you are going to decide or construct a test, what are the characteristics of a good test? What are the characteristics that you have to bear in your mind when you construct a test? I always mention Bachman and Palmer 1996 as a model of test and language testing and evaluation framework. All right. Thank you, Ajahn Thirawit. We have to mention reliability. So Bachman and Palmer mentioned 6 factors, 6 components that create or that make a good test. The first one is reliability. The second one is the validity. Authenticity, yes, interactiveness, impact, and practicality. So these are 6 factors that the teachers or the test constructor need to bear it in your mind. All right. But today we may not have time to focus on these 6 factors, but we have 2 main words, 2 main terms that we have to focus, which are reliability and validity. I remember that when I was young, when I studied in MA, my MA at Little here, yes, I remember that I got confused in these 2 terms, reliability and validity, especially in Thai words. They use the word ความเที่ยง and ความตรง so I got confused and I don't know what are they, reliability and validity. So Ajahn Kha or anyone, if you have any tips or any strategy to share with us, how you distinguish these 2 terms, reliability and validity. Yes, some call ความเที่ยงตรง as well, Ajahn Thirawit. So that's so confusing, right? So I quite recommend you guys, especially for Thai teachers, do not use Thai terms, Thai definition, Thai terms. Use just only the word reliability and validity. Those terms are easier for Thai teachers. So do you have any techniques to help us, to help the audience distinguish the differences between these 2 terms, reliability and validity? Please, if you have, please share the techniques. That's nice. Thank you very much. อัฐศิษฐ์ thank you ค่ะคุณอัฐศิษฐ์นะคะ so this very short definition but works, right? So for the reliability, test different time but you get same results. Let me change a little bit, more or less the same, not the same. It's impossible to have exactly the same result, right? But if you have more or less the same results of the same test, it will be very good. That means you have high reliability. But for the validity, just like the test, test what you want to test. Very good. Test what you want to test. ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you ค่ะ คุณสราพร That's very nice. Okay, and I have some tips to help you understand these 2 terms. All right. For the reliability that Ajahn Athasiddh mentioned, how many times we use the test under the same conditions, the test result must be more or less the same. But for the validity, we have to measure or we have to test what we want to test. So this is like a very easy definition to help you. And the next slide, I'm going to have the analogy to help you using some pictures, all right? And in Thai, I recommend you to just forget Thai words here. And these are some analogy that I would like to give you some more explanation regarding these 2 words, all right? Meldrin, that's so nice. Reliability refers to consistency, very nice. And validity means accuracy. Thank you for a very, very short but clear definition. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me use this analogy to help you guys. For example, we have a dartboard here. This is a dartboard, right? And we are going to invent a dart for using with the dartboard. Okay, you claim that, we are going to invent a wonderful, a very nice, a very perfect dart. Okay, so the purpose of a very nice dart here is to hit the target, right? Okay, that means you want to create the equipment that has very high validity. Okay, and every time that you use this dart that you invented, and the result of the game will be more or less the same here, it means your equipment has high reliability. So this is the analogy that I would like to use to help you understand between these two words. Hope it will help. All right. Okay. And let's check your understanding, whether you understand my explanation or not. Suppose that the darts that I invented, this is the result when I use the darts that I invented. Could you please tell me regarding reliability and validity? What about the result of this one? This is reliable or unreliable? This is valid or invalid? So I have 4 choices: reliable, unreliable, valid, invalid. So yes, thank you ค่ะอาจารย์สุชาดา thank you ค่ะอาจารย์สราพร so this one you see that every time that you use this dart, it's go many parts of the dartboard, right? So it is unreliable and the darts never hit the target at all, so it is unreliable and invalid. All right, okay. And what about the second picture? And what about this one? This one is different from the first picture. So this one is reliable, of course, right? Reliable, but invalid. Yes. And what about the last one? The last one. This is, yes, it is both reliable and valid. So for this picture, as a test constructor, we expect our tests to have high reliability and high validity. So I would like you to just remember this photo in your mind when you construct a test, right? So you have to make your test have high ability and high validity. And the last one of the basic knowledge of about testing is we have 2 formats of tests: objective tests and subjective tests. For the objective test, it's just like we have some criteria, right? Clear criteria for the student for marking the answer of the test. But for the subjective, sometimes mostly you use your own judgment, right, to mark or to give the score of the test. And for the multiple choice test, it is the objective test, which we are going to focus today. It's quite easy in terms that easy to mark multiple choice tests, right? Because we have only one answer in each question. Before writing a test, can I please ask you what we have to do before we write a test? Is it impossible that you said, okay, I'm gonna write an English test, and you just use your iPad or use your notebook and start writing a test, right? Is it impossible? Thank you ค่ะอาจารย์ธีรวิทย์ said review course objectives before writing, think about objectives, targets lessened, yes, clear objectives, what we are going to measure, very good, very nice, construct, yes, yes, yes. Most of you guys mentioned the word objectives, right? So this is a very important word that we have to bear in our mind before we start writing a test. So you have to check the purpose or the objectives. The purpose of the test, what kind of test that you are going to create, right? you're going to construct an achievement test. So the content of the test must come from your course, all right? But if you would like to construct a proficiency test, so it can be a general English, all right? And if you are going to construct a reading test, so you have to focus on reading. And if you are going to construct a grammar test, so you have to test a grammar of the student only, not vocabulary. All right. So the first one is the purpose of the test that you have to keep in mind. The second one is you need to create the specification for yourself, like the content, the number, how many questions do we need in the test? In this test, we may need 50 items. Do we need 100 items? The level of difficulty, the time as well. How many minutes, how many hours do we give to the student, right? And we have to think about the structures of the test items as well. The alignment of the test, the format, the font size, font type that we're going to use. Especially for the high-stake tests, we need to do the alignment, the format, and even the font. It is very important as well because it affects the students. And the last one is the sources. Make sure that the source that you take to create the test is reliable, right? Especially for the reading test, you need to, sometimes you bring the reading text from the internet, right? Or from the textbook, and make sure that the source is reliable. You cannot bring the text from Wikipedia, right? Okay. And sometimes that when you get the text, a reading text already, it is too long. You need to paraphrase it. You need to adjust it. All right. So make sure that when you paraphrase it or adjust it, it is still correct in terms of content and in terms of grammar as well. All right. So the sources are very important. Okay. So when we get all of this already, I think that you are ready to start writing a multiple choice test. Do you think that constructing a multiple choice test item is easy? If you say yes, type 1. If you say no, type 0, please, in the chat box. If you think that writing a multiple choice test item is easy, type 1. But if you think that this is too difficult, it's difficult, type 0. Oh my God. Oh my God. No one type 1 at all. All right. When I was very young, I think that, oh, multiple choice test item is very easy to construct because of what? It's quite clear for the construction of the test, right? We need a question and we have 4 choices. That's all. It's very easy. I love it. I want to construct it. All right. But when I grown up, I realized that, oh, it's not easy at all. There are many factors. And I just can tell myself that multiple choice question exams are challenging and time consuming to create. Do you agree with me? Especially time consuming? Easy to take and mark. Yes, I agree with you, Ajarn Yuthachak. It's easy to take and mark and hard to construct. Yes, I agree. And it's time consuming. Sometimes I remember that when I edited one multiple choice test item, and I got stuck almost an hour for one item. Keep trying to think of a very, very good distractor for just only one item. I could remember that moment. Yes, like Meldrin said, sometimes we have to think, to consider how the student gonna think, and we have to track them, all right? Sometimes we have to use the metacognitive, as Meldrin mentioned here. Thank you very much, all right? Okay, let's have a look at, right now we are in the second part of the talk today, right? It's about multiple choice tests. And I'm going to talk about the components of a multiple choice test item. This is a sample of multiple choice test items. Could you please tell me, do you know what's the name of each component? In the multiple choice test items, here, sometimes people always say this is a question, but there is a technical term that we can call this part. Do you know what is it? Yes, Ajahn Suchada. Yes, thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ everyone. We call a stem, right? A stem. And here, A, B, C, and D, we can use many terms here. We can use options, we can use choices, we can use alternatives. That will be fine, all right? Okay, and for A is the correct answer, right? So we call a correct answer. And for B, C, and D, we call it distractors. All right, so these are components of a multiple choice test items. Okay, thank you very much for all the answers. Lovely. Actually, we can do the multiple choice tests with every skills of English, right? Reading, listening, writing, and sometimes we use indirect speaking test. We can also use the multiple choice test item as well, right? Grammar, vocabulary. But today, due to the time limitation, I will just give you some examples of the vocabulary test and grammar tests for constructing a multiple choice test items. All right, okay, and you can apply the basic knowledge to other kinds of tests. When you do a vocabulary test, you have to know the purpose of vocabulary tests. The vocabulary test is to measure the comprehension and production of words used in speaking or writing, all right? And we have many types of vocabulary tests. For example, we can use yes/no questions, or sometimes you may use true/false questions as well, all right? But if you use yes/no question, that means the answer must be yes or no. But if you true/false question, the answer must be true or false, right? We can have multiple choice completion, multiple choice paraphrase, and simple completion, right? Let's start with the first one, right? Okay, in this part, I have a lot of items for you to discuss, okay? So please feel free to discuss, to enjoy the test that I prepare for you. This is a true/false question, and the stem says, this is a donkey. True or false? I would like to ask you, is that okay or not for this question, for this test item? You think that this test item is okay or not? If you think that it's okay, type 1. But if not okay, type 0. 1 or 0. This is good, okay, 1. It's not good, 0. Oh, wow. Wow. What's wrong? What's wrong with this item? Everyone said 0 is not good. What's wrong? Could you please share your comment? It is a donkey, true or false? Yes. All right. Okay. For example, we decide this question, this item for, let's say for a grade 1 student. All right, grade 1 student. Okay. The level of this question is for grade 1 student. So is this good or not?
Ajahn, I think it's good afternoon.
Sorry?
Good afternoon. I'm teacher Linda. I'm just for the first question for me, I think for grade 1, it's okay because they recognize the pictures easily. Mm-hmm. At the same time, they can describe it. It's I think it's okay for level 1. It's depend on the level, I think, in every questions. Thank you.
Thank you. So you say that for a student in grade 1 or level 1, very young student, you say, oh, it's okay, right? And
yes, it's okay.
Yes, thank you. What about Arthur? I think this is a good one. As photo is clear enough for student for level 1. Yes, thank you, Anari, right? Okay, they can distinguish between a horse and a donkey, right? Okay, okay. So, other comments? Ajahn Atasit mentioned that students have to write or tick. This is a very good point. Yes. Okay. This one is not perfectly okay for me because what? The instruction is not clear. So if you are a student, what you're gonna do? The student have to write TRUE or FALSE, or they have to mark tick or closet, or the student have to write T or F. That's not clear here, especially for the midterm exam or the final exam, that the student need to write the answer on the answer sheet. This one is not good at all because the student don't know how to do this test. If they think that this one is true, how they gonna mark on the answer sheet? All right. Right. So you have to be careful. The beginning step is be careful your instructions. You have to make sure that instructions is clear. Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you, 40, right? So if you just put some bracket A if the statement is true and bracket B if the statement is false. So this may help the student to understand and to know what they're going to do with this test item. All right. And what about this one? Do you think it's better or not? Is this a donkey? Yes, no. If you said it's okay, type 1, not okay, 0. Okay. So right now we have both answers. Okay, let me ask, okay, most of you guys now say that it's better than the previous one, right? Yes. Okay, but let me ask some answers who mentioned 0. How can we improve this? How can we improve this? Is there any weakness of this test item? Meldrin said that the instruction must be clearly stated. All right, instruction must be clearer, right? For example, if you have the answer sheet, okay, so we have the answer sheet that blacken your answer in the answer sheet, something like this. Okay, thank you, very nice. All right, okay. We're going to go to the next type of vocabulary test or multiple choice completion, something like this. Do you think that this item is okay or not? Okay, type 1, not okay, type 0. She quickly her dinner, had, slept, drank, and thought. Is that okay? Most of you said, okay, we have some say too easy. All right, Ajahn Tilawit, it depends on the purpose, right? It depends on the purpose, the purpose and the level of the students as well. Suppose that this is just like for grade 3 students or grade 2 students, right? The options are not logical, all right? Okay. But don't forget that we are in the part of vocabulary tests. All right. So the purpose of the vocabulary test is we need to measure the level of vocabulary of the students, right? So we need to use many kind or a variety of vocabulary. All right. So for me, this one is okay. It's okay. So that means the student have to know the meaning of each vocabulary of each word. All right. So let's see. Better change had to 8. All right. Okay. it's time for discussion. So we have a lot of test items for you to discuss. What about this one? She quickly her sandwich. So we don't talk about the level of the student. Right now, we just focus on the construction of the test item. Two answers. Okay, someone said to answer. No perfect answer, right? So what is the answer of this one? Someone said two answers. What is could she quickly pass her sandwich? All right, it could be, or she quickly did her sandwich. Is it possible? Did her sandwich? We don't use did with sandwich, right? We make sandwich, but we do not did sandwich. Right. So we have one answer. Okay, so I'll get more word to be clear. All right, we may change. Okay, we may change. And what about, we have one more weakness of this test item. Apart from the answer, anything else that you may notice? You see the face validity, the appearance of the choices. Do you see? So A, B, and C are the irregular verb, right? But past is regular verb. All right. So it's just like it's not balanced or it's not in the same category. It may hint your student as well when you create something like this for the choices. So you have to be careful. If you would like to use a regular verb, just make them all regular verbs. All right. But if you use or would like to use it irregular verbs, just make them all. Okay. So this is a very important as well. Okay. So this can hint the student. Right. What about this one? He had to help the old man up the stairs. Try weak slowly, wisdom. Good or not? The answer is B. All right. So you think that this question, this item is good or not? All right. You got it. You mentioned the word part of speed, right? Yes, this is the keyword of this item. You are going to construct a vocabulary test item, right? So don't mix the category. What I mean is you have to stick on vocabulary test, not a grammar test. All right. So you have to use 4 choices in terms of the meaning of the word, not the part of speech, not the grammar. Okay. Oh, everyone got this one. Thank you. Right. Have the same form of the word, especially for the vocabulary test. This is a vocabulary test. The next one, she needs to get up earlier, so she's buying. So what's wrong with this one? So the answer is alarm, right? Yes, Paul, you got it, right? So you give a hint to the student in the STEM, right? All right. So you see that it is impossible to answer and bell clock, right? Or and time clock, because and here is the clue for your students already. Okay, so when you construct a test item, be sure that don't give away the right answer or the clue through grammatical clues. What about this one? What's wrong with this item? Yes, Paul. Yes, Paul, you always got a point very fast. So choice B is too long. It's very obviously long, right? Compared to other choices, right? And what about the level of difficulty as well? You say it's too long, it's very difficult comparing to the other. Anything else? There are more than one answers, or which one can be more than one answer, right? It can be such smart equipment, right? It can be, right. Okay, anything else? Anything else? More than one answer? The length of the choice, the difficulty of the choice. Anything else? As Sithisak, you mentioned collocation. Could you please explain about your answer here in terms of what collocation? You mean in which part? Adjectives used with the noun. All right. Okay. Right. So these are all adjectives, right, that we can use with a noun here. The false that I mentioned, the first one is one more answer. The second one is the length of the choice, the difficulty of the choice, and the other one is the form of the words. Yes, 40. We always rearrange the lengths of the choices, right? Starting from the very short one to the very long one, A to D. But from here, I think that if you rearrange it, it's still obvious, right? If you rearrange from blue, white, smart, and sophisticated here, it's still obviously long, right? The last one is we have two choices here, which has more or less the same meaning, smart and wise. This is not a good thing that you have to, that you can do in creating multiple choice test items. We don't use the synonyms in the choices. All right, so be careful. Don't do that. Right. What about this one? I sent the yesterday. Yes, Ajahn Tilawit, you got it. All right. Oh, yes, Ajahn Anali. Oh, you guys got it. So we have two comments here, two false in this item. The first one is all choices can be the answer of this item, right? And the second comment is choice D's, books. It's obviously a plural one, right? Compared to other. So be careful as well when you create a multiple choice test item. What about this one? Smith is very. Yes, 40. There's no context clue. So you can answer everything, right? Every choice is here. Every choice here is correct because this is an adjective, right? We need adjective for this stem. Poor alternatives. Thank you. That's so nice. Although they are very, they looks nice. They looks nice, but they do not work at all. Okay. Okay. What about this one? I gave you the context clues. Is this okay? Is this better? It's okay now or not? Better, better. ขอบคุณค่ะอาจารย์ Thank you. Better, better. Perfect, perfect. Good, good, good. Perfect or not? Okay. Can we use it with our student? We have context clues. And what's the answer of this? What is the answer of this question? What is the answer of this item? What is the correct answer? D-Doc, right? Superstitious, right? Yes, 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 yes. But for me, myself, I still need to improve some distractors. Yes, yes, yes. Ajahn Thilavitt, please, please, how could you suggest, how will you suggest to adjust these distractors? Me, myself as well, I would like to adjust some. Okay, so for me myself, I think that all choices still is okay. They are okay, but if we can adjust some points, this will be very, very perfect. All right. Okay. So let me share my idea to you. Some of you may agree. Some of you may not agree with me. That's fine. Just discuss. All right. Okay. So I noticed that. Okay. Although these 4 items, these 4 choices are adjective. All right. But have a look at the suffix of ambitious and superstitious. Right. For me myself, I still think that this can hint the student. So if I am the editor of this test item, I will adjust choice B. I will change to other adjective. All right. So for example, if I change to determined, is that okay? If I change to determined, do you think that okay or not? I change from, sorry, change from ambitious to determined. All right. Okay, so you say that it's okay, right? Okay, but for me, myself, I still, I would like to change more because what? Because I noticed that choice A and B, these 2 words start with D and D. I don't like it. Or maybe Ajahn Thilavitt said that determined is about the superstitious. But I think that the context quite clear for the answer superstitious, right? But it could be. But for me, I still don't like determined here because the diligent start with D and determined start with D. So I would like to change again. So let's change to aggressive. Do you think aggressive is better? Do you think this is the best one? Aggressive here. Ajahn, you may think that I am tricky, right? So I still think that the word aggressive is not good. It's not suitable. It's not perfect here because of what? Have a hint with aggressive. Now, I think that the meaning of A, diligent, the meaning is positive, right? Yes, Ajahn Anali, very good. You got my point. You got my point. Okay, diligent has a positive meaning, enthusiastic has a positive meaning. Superstitious is just like neutral, but only one choice that has the negative meaning, right? So no, we should not use aggressive. Okay, let's change to active. Better or not? active. Active. Too short, Paul, thank you. But if too short, I think that this version we can rearrange, right? Okay, we can move active to A and diligent to B. So it will be all right. Yes, reorder the choices. And I have one more comment. It's just like, you see that diligent has a positive meaning, active has positive meaning, enthusiastic has positive meaning, right? And active and enthusiastic has more or less the same meaning. So as we mentioned earlier, that please do not use the synonyms in the choices. So I don't take active as a good choice here. Okay, so let's change again to the word creative. To the word creative, is that okay? So as I told you earlier, not okay, Ajahn Chirawit. I'm so sorry. Because of what? Because these three words has all positive meaning. But superstition is just like neutral, right? Okay, so the last choice that I finally changed is the word neutral, right? So neutral superstition is just like neutral meaning, and we have diligent and enthusiastic for positive meaning. So just like we try to eliminate the clues to the student. So I think that for me, this is the experience that I edited this item. So I just share this experience with you guys. Some teachers or some of you guys may think that, oh, you are too strict, or you are too, in Thai we call it too kitma, you're just so thoughtful, right? But I think that, I don't know, we have to eliminate the possible clues that may trick the student or may help the student. Another item. Yeah. Okay. What about this one? My brother is a philanthropist. He makes an effort too. Okay. The first question is, what is the answer to this question? Could you please tell me A, B, C, or D? Okay. All right. Right. So what's wrong with this question? Do you think that's okay or not? For me, I don't think that this one is okay. Why? This is too long. But you see that we can rearrange, right? Or you may adjust D. All right, it's okay. But the problem that I'm gonna tell you is there is no enough context clue for this item, right? If you would like to tell us, if you ask the student to guess the meaning of this word, related to human, A, B, C, D, fly an airplane. Or it's not, oh, that could be, Ajahn Siddhisak, that's interesting. All right, so we may adjust A to other thing that relate to human or people. B and C can be possible answer. All right. So this, if you would like to make as context clues exam, to use context clue to infer the meaning, so you need to put some more context to the student. All right, not just only so, but if you say that, oh, this is what the vocabulary that the student learn, it's just like meaning recognition, or that's will be fine, right? But if you would like to make this item for the meaning inference from context clues, so you have to put some more context clues in it. And what about this one? My brother can fly an airplane. He is a, of course, this is not a good one. This is not a good one. What's wrong? Yes, yes, yes. Be sure that in the stem or in your test, it is grammatically correct. There is no ungrammatical mistake, right? There is no grammatical mistakes in your test at all. It is very, very important that you have to be careful, all right? Yes, grammatically incorrect. Okay, anything else? Another thing that I would like to raise your awareness is this is one style of many Thai teachers that when they construct a vocabulary test, we always use a definition to ask for the vocabulary. Please don't do that. It is not a good idea to give the definition and ask the student, what is that? All right. You should give the sentence and let the student use the context clue to answer your question. It's better, right? Don't use the definition. What about this one? I just hit my chin. Is that okay or not? I think this one is a little bit weird, right? Yes, not clear stem. Yes. So it's just like the student can use the process of elimination to get rid of some choices. If they know that, okay, chin is a kind of organ in our body. So they just, oh, I don't know what is chin, but I know that chin is just like something in our body. So they choose A, all right? So you have to be careful. So you may change to lips, hips, or something, all right, to make it better for the choices. Now, what about this one? If I change to son, pet, and plan, it's still not good. Why? Why is still not good? Because every answer, every choice can be the answer, right? I just hit my son. I just hit my pet. I just hit my plan. Maybe hit my plan. But hit the pet is okay. Hit the son. All right. So more than one possible answer here. Okay. So you need the context clue. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Jerry Show. Thank you. Thank you. And this one, he plans to purchase some candy for his brother. What's wrong with this item? No answer. So this one is another, this is another kind of vocabulary test we call multiple choice paraphrase. So you have to choose the choice that has more or less the same meaning with the underlined word, right? Okay. So it's different from the previous one, all right? So the previous one is just like fill in the blank with the multiple choices, but this one is paraphrasing. Not enough context clues. I think this one is nothing about context clues, right? It's nothing about context clues. If you want to check the meaning recognition, yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. He plans to, because it can be a plan to sell some candy for, it's possible, right? It's possible. Steal is possible. All right, yes. So we need some more context clues here as well. And the other thing regarding the choices is synonyms. It's not synonym, but it's antonym, right? A and B is antonym. This is the opposite meaning. So do not use two choices that have the opposite meanings. So we do not use synonym, we do not use antonym in the choices, right? Some candies. All right. Yes, the candies as well. Thank you, Ajahn Boranon. The candies as well for the stem. Oh no, here, Meldrin. It's just like we need to have the synonym to replace, to paraphrase the underlying word. Oh, sell and purchase. Okay, so the next one, his remorse was great. His remorse was great indeed. This is a good one. So I have to choose the choice that you can replace the underlined word. Yes, sometimes you may experience that all of the choices contain very, very super difficult words, right? So here you have the word remorse, you have the word dexterity, solicitude, robustness, and compunction. If I ask you as an English teacher, can you choose the best one, the answer of this one? For me, myself, I could not do. It's maybe a GRE, yes. So that is the purpose of GRE test, right? But normally when we decide this kind of vocabulary test, don't do that. Don't do all choices have difficult words in the choice because the student don't know what to choose, right? Okay, let's change. Okay, I change some. This is better. It's better. It's better, right? But we may need some context clues to help, right? We may need some context clue to help. But if we would like to measure the students' meaning recognition skills, that will be all right. But if you want to make it clear, just put some context clues into this. Right? But you have to be careful. The word power and strength. These two terms, these two words have more or less the same meaning, right? So you have to be careful as well. Okay, you may change to other word. Okay, and this one is very important as well. We have the instructions. Complete this sentence by filling a suffix in the blank. All right, and you have he was care, and you have some line here for the student to fill in. Right, this is not good. The first one is there is no context clue, right? The student have two potential, two possible answer to fill in, careful or careless, right? So what we gonna fill in, because they are all correct, they are all adjective, right? So let's change. Yesterday he got on the wrong bus, so today he was care to find the right one. So what is the answer, the correct answer of this one? So it's supposed to be careful, right? Yes, but you see that in the stem here, you have the line which may trick your students, right? Because the student may think that, oh, the teacher is so kind, the teacher gave us some hint, right? Oh, the student may say, oh, it must be careless, LESS here. So you have to, right. Yes. So you have to be careful. Don't do that. You may change. Yes. All right. So you may change to something like this, the solid line here. Okay. So you ask the student to fill it in. Okay. We have some activities for you to try. I have about 3 test items for you to practice and discuss. Okay. And I will ask you to do it in this application we call Padlet. Right. So you see something like this. I'll give you the link soon. Okay. And you will see this kind of test item that I created for you. If you think that this test item is good, just click like here. But if you think that this is not good, please click dislike. And in the comment box, you just type how to adjust it. You may say that, okay, choice B is not good. I will change to and just give you your adjustment or just a recommendation in the comment, all right? Okay, so we give you the link. I'll send it to the chat box. Yeah. Okay, I have 3 items for you. You may do any question that you like. If we have time, you may do 3 items, but if you do not have time, you may just choose 1 out of 3. The last one, I just leave the choices and ask you to create your own choices here. You may click on the photos and it will be enlarged, right? Okay. All right. So when you give the comment, if you have some idea, please give some adjustment or some alternative as well. Okay, so I'll just leave you a few minutes and then we will come back to the comments together. In item 3, I left the options because I just would like you to fill in the options by yourself. Just create the options by yourself if you like. So I just leave it for you to show your ideas in those options, those choices, if you like. All right, so, oh, no worries, it's okay. So I'll give you about 1 more minute to complete the activity, and then we will come back to your comments and discussion. All right, shall we start with the second one first? Because it seems that you got a lot of comments on the second one, right? Okay, the second one is, it is sweltering in here, and we have 4 options: hot, cold, humid, and frightening. All right, okay, and there are a lot of comments mentioned. Choice D should be in the same part of speech. A and B are opposite, right? Yes, good, good, good. Choices A and B opposite in the same, about whether the category should be changed into whether. No context clues, right? Adjective form, out of context. Oh, good, 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 good. Okay, so for choice here, for question number 2 here, how can we change? First, we need to put some context clues in the stem, right? Put more context. Second, A and B are opposite, right? We need to change. Third, D, frightening. This is nothing about the weather. It's just like obviously different from others. Right? We should change choice D to other. For example, wet. I noticed that one audience mentioned the word wet, right? Or windy, something, right? Okay. Anything else? All right. So that's all for the second one. What about the first one? The first one, you see that the correct answer, number A, is very difficult, right? Okay, and we have scarce, peculiar, empty as the choices. What about the context clues? Is it clear for the context clues? He just graduated from with the first class honor from a top ranked university. So he was very ecstatic. Is this okay? I think at least the context clues show that he must have a positive feeling now, right? I think it's okay for the context clue, but for the choices, I think A is too difficult, right? Compared to other choices as well. Anything else that you commented? B and D have similar meaning, scarce and empty. It's not really similar, but it's just like the negative one, right? Okay, so you may think that, okay, you may want to do 2 choices for the positive meaning, 2 choices for the negative meaning. That will be all right. Or 4 choices that have positive meanings. It will be all right. Okay, and number 3, okay, we have some volunteer to help. The purpose of the doctor is to the suffering of patients, to relieve, to empower, to investigate, and to instruct. What do you think? They are all verbs. So let's comment. Okay, please help me. If you are an editor of the test, this one, you type 1 if it's okay. So if you type 0, if it's not okay. So we have first volunteer. The first volunteer mentioned relieve, empower, investigate, and instruct. You think it's okay? Okay, so we have two judges said okay. Okay, 3 judges. Okay, for me, Ajahn Atasit, do you have any comments for this answer, for these choices? I was this okay, I was still one. Relieve, empower, investigate, and instruct. So right now, most of the judges said that okay. But Ajahn Atasit said not okay. So let's listen to Ajahn Atasit's comment so we can adjust this item. For me, I think that is okay, but I have some adjustment as well. I'm waiting if Ajahn Atasit has the same idea or same comments with me or not. Okay, so let me share my idea first. 90% of these choices are okay, but I think that C, investigate, is obviously it is 3-syllable word, in my opinion. So me, myself, will change this choice to just only 2-syllable word. That's all, just very minor comment, but it depends on the test constructor. If they would like to change, it's fine. If not, there's no problem, right? This is my comment, my personal comment for just only choice C, right? Okay. A, B, C can be correct. Yes, like Ajahn Atasit said, the purpose of the doctor is to relieve, the purpose of the doctor to investigate the suffering of patients. That will be the correct answer as well, right? Yes, 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 yes. I agree with Ajahn Atasit. A and C. So it seems that we have 2 possible answers. Doctors investigate the patients. We do. Oh, let me ask the native speaker of English here. Do we have some native speaker of English here? Can we use the word investigate with the patient? Do doctors investigate the patient? Do we have the native speaker of English in our room?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Was it to say investigate the suffering of the patient?
Yes, yes.
That's okay. Investigate.
That's okay, right? Okay, thank you very much. Just so you see that we are Thai, right? And even though we are Thai teachers, but sometimes we need a native speaker of English to consult, because we cannot say that we know 100% of English, right? Yes. So when you construct a test, this is a techniques that I would like to recommend. When you have the problem or when you are not sure in some points, please consult a native speaker of English as well. So you see that here we can ask. All right, thank you, Khun Thirarit. So we need to change A or C, but for me, I better change C, all right, to other choices and leave A as an answer. What about the second volunteer? Kill, help, delete, and alleviate. So I think that kill and alleviate can be the answers, right? 2 possible answers here. Kill the suffering of, not kill the suffering, right? But alleviate the suffering, but not kill.
Right. I would say alleviate.
So
not
that's
cure.
alleviate is fine, right? But not cure. So it's okay. But be careful the length of the choices as well, right? But now it seems that you have many level of the length, but it's fine. Just reorder it. Okay. Yes, you can put some more context in it if you like, right? Alleviate, examine, worsen, and deteriorate. What about this one? Can we examine the suffering of the patient? We can, right? Can we? The answer is A, right? But what about examine? I think that we can examine, we can investigate, so we can examine, all right?
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I might choose investigate first, but
Thank
it
you.
works. It works.
Thank you. All right, and worsen, no, not worsen, deteriorate. No, yeah, so we have 2 positive ones and 2 negative ones, all right, okay. The 4th volunteer, study, try, heal, and teach. Oh, this is the comments, right? Okay. All right, okay, so you have the chance to practice, right? Okay, let's go, let's move on, So let's, we just finish the vocabulary test. So let's move on to grammar tests. So the purpose of the grammar test is measure student proficiency in matters ranging from inflections to syntax, right? So we have many kinds of grammar tests, but we will still focus on multiple choice completion of a grammar test. For example, this one, do you think that this one is okay or not? Okay, so delete the vocabulary test. Okay, so now we focus on grammar tests. Is this okay or not? Type 1 is okay, type 0 is not okay. Okay, Paul, could you please share your comments? Ajahn Annarika, could you please share your comment? Should focus more on ing, adding. All right. So some say that it's okay, some say that it's not okay. B and D for passive voice continuous. There's a hint, right? Ajahn Sukisa said that it's a hint about the tense. So you're gonna say that is a hint here, right? Yes. But it depends on the purpose of yourself, of the teachers as well. For example, if you are teaching very young students, I mean grade 1, grade 2 Thai students about grammar, you may start by teaching them with the present simple tense and present continuous tense and present perfect tense, right? You got 3 tenses. So you would like to check if they can differentiate the format of each tense or not. You may use this one because you want to check that, oh, they know that this one is the present continuous tense or not, something like this, right? But for the very young students, but for the intermediate student or for the advanced student, this one is not good because the student may know from the clues here, right? Okay, so you have to be careful about the purpose of the test and the level of your students as well, right? Okay. What about this one? This is okay or not? We can get it from the lady. She sold it to. 1 is okay, 0 is not okay. Ajahn Suchada said not okay. Ajahn Siddhisak said okay. All right, all right, all right. This one is not okay. This one is not okay. Because of what? Because we have two possible answers here, right? So you can answer whom, or you can answer who as well. Native speaker of English may use who here as well, right? So we have two possible answers. What about this one? If I had a new fur coat, comma, okay or not? Yes, and Anari says, okay. Okay. So Siddhisak said not okay. What's wrong, Ajahn Ka? What's wrong with this one? Ajahn Siddhisak said okay, all right. Many, all of you, I think all of you said okay, right? For me, it's still not okay. It's still not okay. Contracted form. You said that we should not use a contract form, right, Paul? But for me, the contracted form is okay here. But the point that I said not okay is, I see. So it's quite obvious. It's quite obvious, right? Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you, Paul. So we should change it. We should change to would or have or will. That's a good idea, Paul. I love your comment. Yes, Ajahn Slapon mentioned a lot of repetition in the choices. That is the point that I would like to discuss with you. So you see that we have it to everyone in every choice here. So no need to put it to everyone in the choices. How can we adjust this this thing? So we just put it to everyone to the stem. So the choices will be shorter. This will not exhaust your students, all right? So make the choices clearer as well. Okay, so we have two comments for this item. The first one is do not contract the form of verbs and do not put it to everyone in every choice. Just put it into the stem, right? Okay, so when you put it here, so the choices will be shorter and easier to read. And don't forget to reorder as well. Okay, and as Paul mentioned, we should not use the contracted form. What about this one? Okay or not? Change with to determiner, right? Yes, correct. So don't mix categories, right? So right now you want to check the student's ability of the use of the determiner. So don't put the preposition here. So for me, I may change. There are a variety of change that you can do, right? So for me, I may change something like this. Okay, so just check a determiner and nouns as well, countable and uncountable as well. Some books or some experts always say that you do not check more than one category of the knowledge from the student. For example, like this, you will check the determiner and you will check noun, countable and uncountable as well. Okay, some expert may say that it is another good idea to do a good test because you check two purposes in one item. Okay, so that's all for the grammar test. grammar is quite easy, right? And I have another activity for you to do as well. We have three test items for you to try. Okay, so you can use your phone to scan this QR code, or I have a link that I'm gonna give it to you in the chat box. Right. Okay. Please feel free to do. If you think that this one is good, just click like. It is not good, dislike. And please give your comments or your modification, adjustment in the comments. So if you have some time, please feel free to do item number 3 as well. So I just leave B, C, and D for you to create your own choices. I give you the correct answer already. So just create B, C, and D as a good distractors. All right, okay, let's have a look at the comments that we have. Number 1, they need ... furniture for their new house. And the choices are: A is article a, the, few, and some. The answer is some furniture, all right? You mentioned that there can be more than one correct answer. Is correct, because you can answer some furniture or the furniture. It can be, right? Two answers, two possible answer. Anything else? So replace the with other determiner. Yes, yes. So you just change the to other determiners. A and B article, C and D determiners. Better use a single form of all choices. But actually, I think that article is a kind of determiners, right? Article is a kind of determiner. So maybe they are in the same category, right? Okay, thank you. So what about the second one? Scientists are confident that hurricanes will become more intense. ... Climate change. All right. So they are all conjunction, right? Okay, all connectors. The answer is A, due to. Okay, let's have a look. A and D are possible. Yes, they are two possible answers, due to and because of, right? Multiple possible answers. Okay, anything else? Change B and D. Okay, how can we change B and D? So for me, myself, I think that the pattern of the choices look a bit different. I mean, a little bit strange. You see that due to, you have two words, right? Despite one word in order to three words because of two words. For me, if possible, I may change to have just like the same pattern, like two words and one word. So two words, two one word, something like this. Okay, for the connectors here. All right, anything else that you would like to comment about this item? A is a single word choice, right, as I mentioned, right? Okay, let's see the third one. While she was cleaning, while she ... the house, her children were playing outside. So the answer is was cleaning. And I ask you to create some choices. Okay, we have is cleaning, cleaning. Okay, the first volunteer we have is cleaning, we have are cleaning, and we have will be cleaning. Oh, interesting. Very nice one. Do you think that the answer from volunteer one is okay or not? Type 1 if you think it is okay. Type 0 is you think it's not, still not okay. For the first volunteer, she the answer, the choices are was cleaning, is cleaning, are cleaning, and will be cleaning. This is testing both tense and verb conjunction. You mean the word while, right? Yes, as we mentioned earlier, it depends on the level of your students as well. If your student is very beginners or in very young level, it's fine with these choices. But for the advanced students or intermediate students, you have to be careful because the choice are cleaning can be obviously wrong because the subject is she, right? Okay, so you may change to has been cleaning, something like this to make it more less obvious, make it less obvious, all right? Okay, the second volunteer is cleaning, cleaned, and has cleaned. Okay, do you think that the second volunteer, the answer of the second volunteer, okay or not? If okay, click 1. If not okay, type 0. Was cleaning, is cleaning, cleaned, and has cleaned. Do you think that's okay or not? Okay, Ajahn Sapan said okay. Right. For me, it's okay, but I still have a little bit comment to share. I think that for choice C, I may change to had cleaned, had cleaned to make them parallel. You see that for A, we have was cleaning, B is cleaning, but for C, if we change to had clean, it will be parallel with D has cleaned, something like this, but it's not a big deal, just a little bit comment for this one. And what about has cleaning, is cleaning, cleans. What about this one for the from the third volunteer? Do you think it's all right? Ajahn Annali said no. Could you please give us some comment? For me, I don't think it's yes, I agree with you, Ajahn. I think that B is grammatically incorrect. So this may hint the student. The student may eliminate this choice immediately, right? Okay, so you may change to has cleaned, right? It's better. Thank you. And has cleaned, and would cleaned. Okay, what about the answer from the fourth volunteer? Had cleaned, and would cleaned. Oh, I like this one. The constructor would like to make them all past tense, right? We have was cleaning, had cleaned, and would cleaned. It's very interesting. What about your ideas, our audience? Do you like the suggestions from the fourth volunteers? For me, myself, I think very interesting one. Okay, let's go to Ajahn Suchada Naha. We have cleaned, is cleaning, and cleans. Okay, this she would like to make them parallel as well, right? She has cleans and cleaned. She has was cleaning and is cleaning. It's very interesting. Yes, very good. Nice. And we have a word cleaning, is cleaning, are cleaning. Okay, so this volunteer would like to make them parallel as well. But for young students, it will be all right. But for the beginner, intermediate or advanced students, they can eliminate two choices from the grammar or from the clues from the stem, right? Because they can eliminate were cleaning and are cleaning, right? Thank you very much for your suggestions, for your comments, for your participation. It's very nice, very lovely, and we learned a lot together, right? So I think that after this session, you may have an opportunity to edit the test, a lot of multiple choice tests, right? Okay. And before we finish our talk today, I would like to raise another awareness when you finish constructing a test. All right. Before we construct a test, we have something that we have. All right. And after the test, after constructing a test, we have something that we have to consider as well. The first and most important is you need to proofread and edit, especially from the native speaker of English, if possible, right? You may ask your friend to read and do the test, right? And you may ask the native speaker of English to proofread and edit it as well. as we mentioned in the talk today, that sometimes we may not exactly 100% sure about our answers. Native speakers can help us. And then after that, we need to make a trial. We may make a trial with our colleagues. For example, if we create a midterm exam or final exam, we may have a team, like at the university, right? When you teach in one course, you may have 3 or 4 teachers teaching in the same course. So after constructing the test, you just ask your team members to do the test and just give this comment that we did today. And then after that, we may have some modification. But for the low stake test, we just do the proofread, edit, and trial. That's enough. All right. But for the high stake test, we need more. Like we need to do test analysis or item analysis. We need to find the value of reliability, find the value of validity. We use many statistics to help to make it the best test, right? And then we modify it based on the comments, based on the value of the result of the test analysis. And then we just use the test. After we use the test, don't throw it away. Because of what? Because you spend a lot of time, you spend a lot of energy doing the test, creating a test, right? So it will be a good idea if you just spend some time to consider the result from your student's answer and just edit your test and keep it in your test bank. You may adjust and you may reuse your tests. All right. This process is very important, especially for the high stake tests like TOEFL, IELTS, CUTEP, till you get. All right. So we all do this kind of analysis. All right. But for the low stake test, like I mentioned earlier, midterm exam, final exam, don't forget that we need to proofread. Don't leave any mistakes in the exam for the student, all right? This to make sure that our tests have high reliability and high validity, all right? Before we finish our talk today, I would like you to share what we have talked or we have discussed. All right, I have the question. What are some tips for constructing multiple choice test item, do's and don'ts? I would like you to share it in here. I'll give you the link of the answer garden. Just type it here before we leave. Just reflect what we have learned, what we have discussed today. Just show us some tips that you have got today. You just type your answer here. Just think in 2 hours what we have realized, what we have discussed, or what we have learned in the talk today, or any important tips that you like, or any important tips that you learn new from the talk today. Is new thing that you learned, the new tips that you learned that you have got. If you have more than one tips, you just type one tips and just click submit, and you just type another one, right? So just separate the tips. Okay. Anything else? We can go in details that we discussed. Many people mention test validity, test reliability, validity, valid and reliable of the tests, validity. Anything else? Well, I think that we discussed a lot of details, right? Correct grammar, clear instructions, effective distractors. Yes. Do plausible choices. Nice, nice, nice. Be careful about your choices. Do not have more than one correct answers. Anything else? Especially for the vocabulary test. Make sure that you provide enough context clues for the student, right? Enough context to the student. For the choices, try to avoid using synonym and antonym in the choices, right? Okay, and be careful about the length of the choices, the difficulty of the choices as well, right? And in the STEM, make sure that you do not give any clues for the student. I mean the obviously grammatical clues, right, to the student. And they can use the techniques of elimination, right? Anything else? Wow. Okay, check grammar. Yes. Yes. Perfect, perfect. Thank you. Avoid ambiguity. Yes. Very good. Nice. Right. Okay. And let's come to the end of my talk today. And I hope that what I have given to you is the tips for constructing the multiple choice test item, which will be beneficial for your career in the future. I hope that I think that you guys here are teachers, right? But in many kinds of institutes, maybe in the school or university, or maybe in the tutorial school. So you can use the tips that I share to you today when you construct your multiple choice test items, right? And additionally, you can use these techniques when you construct the multiple choice test item in your research as well, all right? So anyone will do the research in terms of p-test and post-test, experimental research. You need to create the test as well. So this one hopefully can help you a lot, right? And I would like to leave my last word is constructing a good multiple choice test item is not easy, as we know, right? But it is not impossible, right? Okay, so thank you very much for your participation. You are so lovely, wonderful, amazing. You helped me a lot during the talk, all right? A lot of engagement today, a lot of interaction. Thank you for your participation. ขอบคุณนะคะ สวัสดีค่ะ Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Dr. Sasa Watanapokakul from Mahidol University, right? At this moment, then, do you have any particular doubts or questions, or would love to provide some comments on on the topic today, so that you can address this to our speaker of today? Please do. Any comments, any questions? Or are you trying to do something? Right. Okay. How can we find the quality of multiple choice tests then?
You can use the statistics to prove, right? But normally, as I mentioned, that for the low state test, you just use your colleague, your friend to do the test, right? And ask the comments from them, and you may ask the native speakers to proofread, to edit it, and to do the test, right? So this is the first step that you can do. And for the high stake test, you have to do the you need the statistic to help you. You need the validity, reliability, the value of this. But you may do the IOC index as well if you like. For example, if you want to do the research and you create a test for your pre-test and your post-test, you may use the IOC index and ask the expert to validate this test. Another one is very in trend now. They use the word CVI, Content Validity Index. So it's more or less the same as IOC, but it is more, it has more detailed than IOC index. So this can help you to verify, to prove that your test is okay, is valid. All right.
Okay. Nice. If it is all about statistics, well, we might have another session for statistics studies for ELT later on, though, right? What is the name of the stat again? I think it's a test, right? You
mean the CVI, right?
Yeah.
CVI, Content Validity Index. This one you can use to measure the validity of the instrument. For example, I am doing a research study and I'm creating a questionnaire. So in the past, I always use IOC index as -1, 0, and 1, right? But now there is a new trend of CVI. So CVI will focus on each item of your question. And then they have just like a SCVI average. So they can consider the whole questionnaire, the value of the whole questionnaire as well. Right, so it's quite interesting. If you would like to use this one, I encourage you to use CVI, but it's more complicated than IOC index.
Right. Any more questions? Right. And thank you, Ajahn Unari, right, for giving us a little bit of like hints, like 4 steps of test construction. I think it's Bachman, isn't it? Right. So okay. So hopefully, like you've got something from our webinar, right? I think it's more kind of like engaging. We try so hard, right, to ask our speakers to create some kind of like engaging webinar like this. We hope that in the future we're gonna have something like this as well, right? So okay, guys. So I think I need to show you a little bit of the thing like for our next webinar session, right? Okay, our next webinar session, that is going to be our last actually, is citation. It's all about research and study, right? It's citation practices. Who are you citing and why you cite them, right? By one of the colleagues from our ELT professions in Thailand, right? Assistant Professor Dr. Asst.Prof.Dr.Sasa. Okay, so from Asst University. For our last time meeting, that is next month, right? The 13th, sorry, the 13th, this to be, okay. 13th of November, sorry about that. Okay, the 13th of November, right, in the morning on Saturday, for the last Lead to Webinar series in 2021. All right, and hopefully, right, we will have more sessions for the future, though, right? So, again, then, if you have no further comments or questions, or if you have any, you may address the question directly to our speaker. All right, the email is in the evaluation form anyway, right? And as our tradition, usual tradition, we always have photo taken, though. Right. If you please then show yourself, and then we can actually have photo sessions together. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much as well for your kind participation. Right. Okay. So, right. I'm waiting for everyone. If you are ready, make up yourself. Right. Give the best pose that possible. Right. So, okay. Right, we have about 2 or 3 pages, so let's come. Okay, so, right, hope you're ready. Okay, thank you, Kap, thank you so much. Okay, 3, 2, 1. One more time, please. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Right, such an engaging, right, talk and discussion today, isn't it? So our last session next month will be some kind of similar, more examples, more engaging, more thinking, more reflection like this. And in the future, we hope that our little webinar will be well blessed and well received, participated like this again, right? The last words for today is that take care, right? Take good care of yourself and be healthy, and we'll see you again then next month though, right? So thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you our speaker of today, Dr. Sasa Watanapokakul, right? Thank you so much, Kav. Okay, to see you.
Everyone, สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you, Kav. Thank you, everyone. The evaluation form, okay, if you missed the evaluation form, I posted again on the chat box there. Okay, so thank you, Kav. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kav. Thank you. Thank you, Kav. Stay safe. Happy weekend. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Until next time too. Right. Thank you, Kav.